Okay, everyone. Um, this week we're going to start a unit that's going to take us pretty much through the end of the semester, and that is a unit on drawing the human form. Okay, we're going to start with drawing the human form proportionately. Now, you may have read in the textbook that ideal proportions, ideal proportions are a 1 to 8 ratio. Okay, that means that the average figure if the person has ideal proportions, is 8 heads high. Okay, so what we have here is a figure that is sort of gridded over top of. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be drawing figures that have these grids over top to help us better draw the figure proportionally. It's really easy when you're first starting out to tend to draw heads and hands in particular too big. They find that in psychology that when people are asked to draw pictures of themselves, they draw their heads and their hands bigger than anything else because that's what people feel are the most important things, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, as you can see here, the head is 1/8 of the entire figure. Okay. Now, these little grid lines also are pretty useful in helping you figure out how to draw the figure. Okay, you can just kind of like say, okay, well, here the hairline goes a little bit above this top line here, because the hair is a little higher than the top of the head would be. The bottom line here, this line here, the next one down, the chin is more or less resting on it. The shirt collar is open, but only goes down to about here or so, as far away from the next line, and so on and so forth. It just makes it easier to draw the figure. Now, as you can see here, because I'm having to record this, I am doing this digitally. What you are to do for these practice drawings is just draw out, like you see here. These are lines that are roughly about an inch apart. Okay, so they're 9 lines an inch apart, making 8 zones. Now I am going to require you to draw out these lines. Okay, draw out these lines an inch apart, and then start drawing the figure on top of those. Okay, and this is going to be in your small sketchbook. You can use whatever kind of pencil you want. Again, because I'm doing this digitally, I'm actually using a stylus in Photoshop and all that. Luckily, I have that though. Okay, so let's take a look at the figure here, and we'll go over here. All right, so we'll start off just. Remember, you can keep this fairly rough. Okay, these are just sketches. These are just practice. So sketch out your basic head shape there. Okay, and then I always start off really rough. So draw the. I'm going to add the hair probably later. That's not terribly important. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the width of the shoulders and just roughly sketching out what I'm seeing here. Got the just right about there. Remember, you can always erase if there's something you don't like. Whoa, that's a big eraser. Let me fix that. I don't like that. How to do it. Okay. Or you can just draw over top. It's fine. Okay. And then just keep looking over. Keep your eyes moving the entire time, going from the figure that you're referencing and the figure that you're drawing. Just kind of sketch out what you see. Again, the line goes right here through the jacket, and so I'm drawing on the same thing over here. Again, this is just a really rough sketch. These don't have to be super detailed. As a matter of fact, you're not trying to do a portrait of these people or anything. we're going to be talking at length later about how to draw the various parts of the human face, the nose, eyes, ears, because they all have their own little tricks to them. Okay, so let's see. Actually, that's a little low, so let's fix that. Something like that, because we got the shirt coming down here. Something like that. Again, you can keep this pretty rough. Yeah, that's perfectly all right. So widen the hips slightly there. And two legs right about there. That's nothing. That's just a little digital warning from the screen recorder. Okay. Using a little bit of negative space here. Negative space, I've mentioned it before. Negative space is the space in between objects. So it's like this space in here. You know, you can, if you can draw the negative space, it better defines the thing that you are actually drawing. And like down to about there. And let's see, you got the shoes are just a little bit over the line. Something like that. Okay. Actually, got to fix that a little bit. Looks like it's falling over. Drawing at an angle, weird angle here. But okay. All right. So now there's the basic figure all drawn out. Once you have it drawn out and you have the basic proportions correct, okay, then you can start adding detail. Okay, remember this is just a sketch. So now that the figure is all sort of sketched out, I can go in and start adding, you know, little things that make it look more like the actual person we're drawing. So drawing, just sketching roughly where the hair is. That's a little thing right there. Now remember, you don't have to do like a portrait, not requiring that. If you just want to put in basically where the you know, where the eyes and the nose and that kind of stuff is, that's fine. So just kind of sketch in like about where the brow is here, eyes right about there. About where the mouth is, something like that. Now, remember when you're sketching, you know, if it's a rough sketch, you know, if you want to just draw over top of your previous lines and keep it sketchy, that's fine. As a matter of fact, as an instructor, I like seeing people's work. I like seeing how they figured out um, the figure. So if you don't want to bother doing a lot of erasing and just sort of keep it sketchy and all that, that's fine. So button right about there, another button. Oh, that was a little low. Right about in there somewhere. That one. Okay. All right. as you can see, I'm just sort of filling in stuff, keeping it fairly rough. As a matter of fact, let's zoom in here a little bit and start. And again, I'm not terribly concerned about capturing a likeness. I just want to like put in just the general stuff there so it, you know, looks like a human being, you know. That nose is a little bit, yeah, if I were trying to do a likeness, made that nose a little bit long. It looks a little ape-like, so let's put that up just a touch. Same with the mouth. Smile lines go out a little bit further than what I had. And there's not that big of a lower lip line, so let's correct that just slightly. Again, you can keep these fairly rough. So I'll put in the basic info. Yeah, you do fine. All right. Let's get the shape of that little necklace better. Looks like a little butterfly or something. I'm not really sure. Something like that. The jacket's fairly dark. If we were in a class situation with a projector, you wouldn't even be able to see any of the detail of this jacket. So now, when it comes to hands, just like with the faces, don't worry too much about the hands yet. We're going to have an entire week where we practice drawing hands. There's a special technique that I use that I find makes it a lot easier. So if you want to just make little mitten shapes this week, you know, that's perfectly all right. Remember, these are just sketches, and our focus is keeping our figures proportionate. Okay, so that would be good enough. Okay, for one of the sketches this week. Okay, now we're gonna, like I said, there's gonna be these are posted on Moodle, and I'm gonna have you do, I think, 5 of these gridded figures. Okay, as an assignment. Now, as homework, I'm going to have you guys do some additional figures. But before we get on to that, let me show you some tricks with another one. Hang on. Here's another figure that is posted on Moodle. This time it's a male, and it's got a different sort of thing going on. It's a profile of the body. Okay, so that's a little bit different. And there's a little arc to the back. All right, so let's go over how we go about doing this one. Again, you can start the same way with just that sort of oval, shape for the head. Now the head is turned a little bit, but we can take care of that later. Okay. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to draw the figure, roughly sketch it out very quickly here. Now what we've got is we've got arms that are folded, are sort of thrust out onto the chest. Okay, so we'll just kind of sketch those out really quickly. Belt line there. The back is actually arcing in quite a bit. And then, so there's that big arc as it comes in and goes out. Again, much like the jacket in the previous picture, this is really dark through here. It's kind of hard to see detail even on screen. So now notice that there is one shoe going up this way and one going up that way. That's because he is in perspective. Okay, so just You know, just draw what you see. Okay, don't worry about, you know, the other stuff. Okay, there's the basic figure sketched in. Okay, everything looks like it's lined up pretty well. Let's make a few corrections here and there, not a big deal. All right, let's just shift this over just a touch. Okay, and now let's start adding more detail and more corrections and stuff. Again, like I said, this guy's got his head turned, so let's figure out that's the direction he's facing. So we'll put in the eye line there. Remember the ears and the eyes kind of line up. So just put in, again, we're just going to keep it kind of rough. So I'll put in a little goatee, a little hockey hair thing. We're not trying to do a portrait. We're just keeping it kind of rough. Okay. Now I'm going to cheat this a little bit. When something is kind of subtle in your reference, you can do what we call cheating, um, and that's not the it's not like cheating in you know, like when you're taking a test. In drawing, when you cheat something, if something's kind of subtle, but you want to make sure that you have it that you have that subtle sort of thing taken care of, you over exaggerate it. Okay, and they call that cheating. You cheat it, so you basically over exaggerate a subtle thing, and then you make sure you've got it in your drawing, and then you can peel it back a little bit when you're finishing it up. Okay, that's what cheating is. So if you ever hear an artist talking about cheating something, well, that's it. And this belt's a little high, higher than I have, so I need to fix that. Again, this is a sketch, so you can just draw right over top. You can erase it if you want, or you can just not. Sometimes when I'm doing demos, I'll just erase stuff just so it's so there's some clarity there. So you're not like, oh, why is he doing this now? Why is he doing that now? Guy's got a wallet in his back pocket, so his rear end kind of sticks out a little bit. And you want to make sure that you don't have the character look like he's tipping over. So actually I'm bringing the leg line in a little bit and following the contours of the pant leg. They're kind of crinkly. Just making sure I've got, you know, kind of over exaggerating a little bit. As a matter of fact, that needs to come in just a little bit. I think that needs to, yeah, I know. Let's fix that. That pant leg goes out a little bit, and then the shoe goes out a little bit further. Something like that. All right. Let's fix that. Again, don't worry too much about trying to capture a portrait or something like that, because that's not the point. The point is to make a figure that is proportionate. Okay, that is, in fact, 8 heads tall. Okay, so to reiterate, this week, what you're going to do is find these figures with these lines over top of them on Moodle. There's going to be 5 of them. In your small sketchbook, draw out these 9 lines, 1 inch apart, and then draw the figure inside of those lines using these lines as a reference. Okay? Pretty simple, straightforward stuff. Okay. So widening the face there a little bit. Remember, these are just rough sketches. You can get as detailed as you want or not. Okay. The main thing is that your figures are proportionate and you have the lines on there. Okay. All right. Cool. I will talk to you guys later.